So for anyone who is here for the upcoming new hearings for what's the address? 534 Beechwood Street and 1 Jerusalem Lane. Both of those applicants have requested to continue and submitted letters to our April meeting, which we will determine when that will be, because with that and other continued hearings, the board has quite a bit on their plate, so we're going to have to go over schedule. So you're welcome to stay for that, but just so you know, there won't be any testimony this evening. Hi, David.
Hey, Jen. Is the same thing true of the Jerusalem Road project?
Yes, it came in this afternoon and requested a continuation. Jeff needs to do some further research. And
I'm talking about the
718.
yes.
Yes, 718 also requested to continue fairly shortly after the last meeting.
Okay, and we haven't gotten a new site plan from them.
No, they're working on I don't know. I think that they want to come back on in April at this point, but I mean, I'm sorry, yeah, April. I can't believe it's going to be April. Matt, and thank you for the edits. I couldn't see them on this computer. I'll let you know if I can't see them when I get to work. Nope, it's not working still.
Why don't I just do it audio, because I did unplug the modem and I went to the town website and I got a problem.
Okay, it might be the computer.
No, it's the Russians.
Oh, well, those two.
Damn it. But that's all right.
I'm just kidding.
I've stopped buying their oil. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll just do it with my voice. All right. So let's, we have a full house. Okay. So this will open the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. It's now 7:03. And sitting as the Board of Appeals are myself, Woody Chittick, as chair, Dave McMorris is vice chair.
I'm here.
He's here. Charlie Higginson, he's muted, but I can see your smiling face. That's right, smile. Okay, Lee Darst. All right, you're here. Would you say yes or
yes? Oh, just
or
checking to make
whatever.
sure I wasn't muted.
Mike Dickey, you're muted, but
yes, I'm
yep,
present, Woody.
there you are, and Matt Watkins.
Present.
All right, so we've got a full board tonight. Board business is next meeting date of the ZBA. Jen, you had made mention today of an email that we may need 2 April meetings.
That's correct. Are you okay if I review my thought process on that?
Please
All
give us the lowdown.
I'll give you the lowdown. So as you recall from the last hearing we had in February, we had 508 requests to continue, and they'll also continuing this evening. So that's in April. In addition, 718 Jerusalem Road, after their last hearing, we requested to continue until April. And then this evening, both of the new hearings, both for Beechwood Street 534 and 1 Jerusalem Lane, also requested to continue. And then last week I went through your new applications. I went in and processed those. You have 3. One is an appeal of Ocean's Ledge of a building permit. And the other is a South Main Street house. It's the one that's been opened up in the back. It's kind of open to the elements that one has a couple of things.
Do you have an
issues.
address on that South Main Street?
Well, I forgot it. So it's
Oh,
three.
I mean, is it way down or?
It's way down. It's where the horse barn is. The house is wide open and it's under construction. It's right on the marsh. It's almost situated. It's like three. I'll get you the address.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's way, yeah, okay.
It's way down. And so they're coming in for a special permit. And then the big one that we received, which I'm going to send everything out to you early. I could probably send it out to you by the end of the week. Is 46 Border Street, which is Atlantica.
Oh, okay.
So, and I briefly read that letter, and they're not making much of a change to the existing structure, but there's a lot of proposed changes. And my guess is that you're going to have a big audience for that.
I assume it's a variance request.
No,
among
it's a
other
special
things.
permit.
How are they going to get around parking? Or maybe they don't need, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know the use is changing that much. So
Okay, all
you'll
right.
address that when you're open, but
Yeah.
but I'm thinking we need 2 meetings, since I don't know how you would do all of that in one evening. You know, your new person will be starting next Monday, but I have to advertise these new hearings by Friday at 1 for you to or you take those 3 new meetings and bump them to mid-April. And we continue all of this business to another April. I don't know.
Well, why don't we, I don't know how the board feels. Maybe we should kind of bookmark 2 meetings, set 2 meetings. If we don't need it, we could always cancel it. I do know that at 718 Jerusalem, Jeff DeLisi called me today just to mention that they're going to redo that proposition. I don't know what that means, but whatever we've received to date is you know, only tangentially relevant. It's
so
going to be essentially a new, sounds like a new application.
but they're going to want to keep that open because we're going to continue that one tonight
Right.
to the April 5th meeting.
Right. So that may be, I'm just saying it's going to take on the trappings of a new hearing, I think.
Right. So he might, I wonder if he'll withdraw or I'm wondering.
I didn't want to get into it with him.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Right. So I can always call him and ask. My only issue is that with the new hearings, we need to set a date, time certain, so that I can advertise for you.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Why don't we do, I mean, we could always, if we have too much on the docket, couldn't we agree on, let's say, whatever the first of 2 meetings in April, agree that application 3 and 5 will be taken up a week or 2 hence, with the agreement of the applicants.
So you want me to advertise everything for the?
I don't know. What does the board feel? I mean, Dave, how do you feel?
It doesn't, well, it seems to me that there are a number of hearings that are going to take a lot of time, but with the course of things so far, you know, we could advertise the first 3 on the first Tuesday in April, and they could all get continued and we have nothing to do. So it seems to me that it's probably more efficient to advertise them all for the first meeting. And if we have a full slate, then we'll end up moving the others to later.
And it looks as though they're not going to continue, then
Right.
That's one thing. If it looks like they're going to continue yet again, in a couple of cases, then we have that option.
Okay.
I mean, Charlie, how do you feel? You're our 3rd voting member.
And you're muted.
You're muted. Charlie, can you unmute? You can hear me. Well,
Just hold down the space bar, Charlie, and talk while the space bar is down.
That's a great trick, the space bar.
oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Well, Charlie, why don't you nod your head? Are you in favor of the proposal that we advertise at this point? All the hearings before us, and if it looks as though everybody is actually going to come in as opposed to continue, we'll defer a couple of those to the second April meeting, and if not, we've at least advertised it and don't have to
Uh,
jump through
if my-
hoops.
I'm quite happy with doing it all on the 5th and carrying it over if necessary.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lee, Mike, Matt, any problems with that suggestion?
No, no problems at all, Woody.
Okay,
Okay, we're-
Works for me.
all right. Lee,
Fine.
thumbs up. Yep. All
All
right,
right.
so let's
So
do that,
what-
Jen.
Okay, so we'll do April 5th, everything on the 5th, and then maybe we're all together now. You want to book in the 12th or the 19th? Or do you just want to see how it goes?
Well,
Just keep that in mind that you might have to go to another Tuesday in April, and you can decide it that night. I just want to make sure you're all set because a couple of them are going to be lengthy, I think.
yeah, I think, yeah, once they kick in.
Right, so that works.
I mean, does anybody know for certain that they'll be out of town on a Tuesday in April?
I'm not available on April 12th, the following Tuesday. I have another meeting that I have committed.
Okay, no, that's fair.
The following week is school vacation. It doesn't affect me. Matt was,
Yeah, I was just
Matt,
looking.
how
it up
about
to
you?
see what it was. I am out of town the week of school vacation, but if that's when it fell, I could probably make myself available on the Zoom.
Okay, well, school vacation meeting that Tuesday, the 19th. Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about? So
Yeah, that's what I was
4/19,
checking. It looks like it's
Matt's
there.
out. I mean, you're on vacation.
That's a tough week to
And
do that
4/12,
anyway.
what? Is it bad for
tough
you?
week to do things like that because a lot of people are away.
Oh, you mean neighbors and applicants and?
Yeah, and we've got a lot of fairly big projects coming up in that meeting, so.
All right, well, let's scrub the 19th, at least temporarily. Jen, why don't we think about the week of the 12th, and if anybody, or let's not do it here, but we can do it via email. Maybe we could pick another day if it looks like it's not going to be interfering with people's, predetermined.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a Tuesday, so.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Tuesday, but maybe the 12th. I think, Dave makes a good point about neighbors maybe not here and feel miffed, or even an applicant.
Agreed.
So that's not our intention. All right, so we'll go from there. Then I think it's sometime during the week of the 12th, most likely. And it's probably not going to be a Tuesday, but we'll check our calendars. Easier to do it. Well, I keep thinking of you, but with ever, newbie,
Mhm.
whoever she is, I guess it's she, right?
Yep, this is she. All right, well, and I'll be in the background for any help that she might need if needed.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right. So thank you so much. That's an important decision and outlines what I need to do to keep things moving. So
Well,
thank you.
and before you really segue out of this, does May 3rd look okay at this point for people?
Yes.
It does for me too. Okay, so Jen, just kind of, park that one, that it looks at least
Certainly.
tentatively good. Lee, you okay?
Yep.
Okay, I thought I heard it. No more. Okay. All right, so next, okay, we did that. Continued hearings. Okay, the first hearing is 508 Chief Justice Cushing Highway for the special permit, but that's been requested to continue per the applicant. And I think the continuation, as I understand it, from the applicant's representative, is really an issue of getting the water department's okay, or order of conditions or something?
It has to do with as-built plans, and they can't do the as-built until they can do the landscape plan, and they can't do the landscape plan until they can break ground.
Okay, I mean, I don't personally mind if they continue and continue and continue, but I don't know what the benefit of that is vis-a-vis withdrawing without prejudice and allowing them to come back in with no new filing fee.
Right. I offered that, but they just wanted to continue, and so I did request a letter so that we could put it on file with the clerk. I do that every time anyway, but this one's been continued a lot via email. So in this case, they have a letter that's going to be filed with the clerk's office. Same with everything that's happened this evening, that will happen this evening. So
Okay,
just to protect the
I
board.
understand. Well,
I know.
how does the board feel about just, continuing this? My guess is it's going to be continued, not just once, but a couple of times, but be that as it may.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I prefer to not see it again until they've worked out all of those issues
Yeah.
with the water department.
Mike is smiling. Mike is happy. Okay.
I never have a problem with someone wanting to kick the can down the road, Woody. Do it myself quite a bit.
Well, I mean, and look, and tonight is a perfect example. We've got
Gotta
4
kicking up the
hearings
can.
that are
Yeah.
continued. Okay, so why don't we agree that unless anybody else has a contrary point of view, to accept the applicant's request to continue this until April 5th.
I'll move to
All right,
continue.
moved and seconded. Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave
Bill
McMorrison.
Higginson, aye.
Lee Darcey.
Matt Watkins, aye.
Michael Dickey, aye.
All right, unanimous. The next hearing, I'm going to turn over to Dave McMorris, and I'll go silent. I'll mute because it has to do with 28 Mohawk Way, a situation that I'm recused on. So, Dave, would you do the honors, please? And I will mute myself.
Okay, so we're going to address 28 Mohawk Way. And so Jen, we have, there's John.
John and the landowner have been promoted.
Okay, and John, I note that since the last meeting, you have submitted a letter dated February 28th with some new drawings.
That's correct. Good evening, John Teriyaki Architectural Design, and I'm here with Bill Burnett, the owner. And we submitted some updated drawings with a very slight revision. And the reason was that it was announced to us by Cavanara Consulting that the bordering wetland was an isolated wetland and not the typical wetland that requires a 50 and 100-foot buffer zone. And if it's okay with the board, I'll just share my screen to briefly go over that slight distinction and the slight revision that we made. So this was the original site plan showing the border of the vegetation and then 50-foot buffer and 100-foot buffer. And when we proposed our original footprint, which was 18 by 14 feet, we didn't want to get right up to that 50-foot line because of any required footing foundation work. We left a little bit of a buffer here. And we submitted this application to the board. And after our first hearing, Cavanara Consulting discovered that this is actually an isolated wetland. Therefore, it only requires a 25-foot buffer line, which is back here. So we had a little more breathing room here. And the Burnett's discussed this further, and they really wanted to have just a slightly more spacious room. So we would like to extend this 2 feet towards the right of this plan. And that's the only change. So if I go between the two footprints, this is 18 feet by 14 feet, and this is 20 feet by 14 feet. And just going back to the architecturals, this is the original footprint right here with the crosshatch showing the non-conforming area, 18 by 14 feet. And then this is the proposed. You can see the 2-foot stretching of that form. And we think that it has minimal effect on the proposal. And I'm just going to go to the first, the front elevation. Again, what we proposed at the first hearing, showing the 14-foot frontage. I'm sorry, the 18-foot frontage, and this is the 20-foot frontage. And then the only other place that this is visible is the back view. This was the previous view from the back, showing that addition, the back of that addition. And then this is a proposed. Again, it's a subtle difference. And we submitted all the documents and the site plan and drawings a week before this hearing to really catch the process in time, because we realized that this was happening in the middle of the ZBA process, which is definitely not ideal. But we hope that the board can accept this slight adjustment into its current discussion and proceed accordingly.
Lee, you drafted this decision, right?
I did. Yeah.
Did you have a chance to incorporate the changes?
I did.
Good.
I just have a few questions. One is, I just want to know what the pre-existing square footage for the first floor of the home.
That information we took from, I'm just gonna have to go back to my calculations, because we did not measure the entire footprint of the first floor. So I don't have an exact number, unfortunately, for the first floor square footage, just because we focus our work mainly on the end of the house. But I can provide that to the board.
Okay,
at a later date.
normally we put the footprint, the existing footprint, the square footage for the existing footprint.
Yes, the footprint I can give you, if you could wait for 1 second, that would include the entire first floor, including
With
the garage.
Okay, before the addition or after?
I can give you both numbers. If you could just hold 1 second.
Numbers I'm looking for.
Right, yes. I just don't have the residential gross square foot, which is the kind of the finished area only.
If you just want to email those, that's fine. You don't want to.
That's fine. Looks like the existing is 2,778 square feet before the addition.
That's the first floor.
That's the footprint of the entire first floor.
Okay.
2,778, and we're adding 280 square feet to that with the addition.
Okay.
Any other information from the applicant?
That was it. I mean, we submitted the updated drawings so that they can be referenced, and the board has all the data, but yeah, that was
Okay.
it.
And Jen, is there anyone from the audience that wants to speak on this?
I don't see anybody in the Q&A, and no one has raised their hands. So
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? All right.
I
kind of
just have one for Mr. Burnett. One of the questions that was asked last time was whether you had shared the plans or with the neighbors, and that I didn't have a concrete response for that. So.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Yes, the answer is yes. We have talked to our up here would be Edna and Paul Berry, who would be right. They're our closest neighbors, and they are aware of the addition.
Great, thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else, can I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor? Dave McMorris, aye.
Charlie Higgins and I.
Michael Dickey, aye.
Lee Darcy.
Matt Watkins, aye.
All right, hearing is closed and we can bring Woody back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm back. The next hearing is number 718 Jerusalem Road. The applicants have requested a continuance. Their lawyer did speak to me today and indicated, although I don't want to speculate too much, that we may be seeing something very different. I don't know. So at this point, it's a continued hearing. For all I know, it could be such a difference that we really need to reopen a new hearing, but they will, it didn't sound as though they had definitively made up their mind in that one. So I think the safest course of action is continue this and see what happens. But they realize, I think, that they're very constrained by the property, and would like to come to something that's a little more amenable.
All right.
So I'll make a motion that we continue the hearing at 718 Jerusalem Road until August 5th.
Charlie Higginson, second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Lee Darcey.
Mike Dickey, aye.
Matt Watkins.
Charlie Higginson, aye.
Okay, now we have two new hearings, both of which I'll get into in a second because they're requested to be continued. The first of which is 534 Beechwood Street. They're seeking to convert a single-family house to a mixed-use structure with 2 apartments on the 2nd floor and essentially a general store on the 1st floor. They have filed both for variances and special permit. This could get complicated, but at any rate, they've requested a continuance until April 5th.
Just to go
Yes.
back to the last hearing and just
Sorry, Jen.
motion. No, I just want to mention that the 718 was continued to April 5th.
5th, yeah.
Because because you said August, which is fine,
Oh,
but
all right,
you know.
all right. Days,
I
April
just
and
want to
August,
clarify
you
for the
know.
record, if anyone is listening that wanted to attend.
Sorry
So,
about that one.
No, apologies for the interruption. Just want to make sure it's clear.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, otherwise, Jesus. Anyway, here we are looking at a
Oh, you muted yourself, Woody.
Okay, so here we are looking for a continuance until April 5th for them to provide more information. Apparently, there's also a special permit that was granted some years ago, or actually 2 special permits, and they want to double check whatever conditions might have been imposed in those special permits in the event that would alter their overall plan. So all this seems quite reasonable to me, and I would recommend that we approve the continuance.
Is that a motion?
Motion to continue until April 5th.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Charlie Higginson, aye.
Mike Dickey, aye.
Matt Watkins, aye.
Okay, and Lee Darst?
I had said aye before.
I'm sorry. All right. So the next hearing is 1 Jerusalem Lane. Again, their attorney has requested on their behalf a continuance until April 5th. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the one with the special permits that they haven't really been able to check into them due to staffing in town hall. So I think it's, again, very reasonable to support them in good faith to dig into some of the history of this property. So I would make a motion to continue the hearing on 1 Jerusalem Lane.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Aye.
Lee Darcey, aye.
Michael Dickey, aye.
Okay.
Matt Watkins, aye.
I just have a quick question on that one. What year was the last special permit issued for?
Well, it's, I don't know. It was cited to me that there was a special permit to do some modest changes in the teens, 20 teens of some sort. And then a couple of years ago, a second special permit. It just is not ringing a bell, but he indicated that the lawyer, Jeff DeLisi, indicated to me that it was almost de minimis. It was a very, very small change in footage and footprint. But he hadn't seen it. I haven't seen it. Maybe people here on the board remember it. I don't know.
Is 1 Jerusalem Lane the house that's right on the street?
Right.
Okay, that was the first meeting that I attended, so I believe that was September of 18.
Okay. See, now Jeff
was-
didn't
I thought
have
that
it,
was-
and honestly, it's not coming back to me, so I don't know.
I thought that was 706.
This,
Ah.
the first one that I sat on was the one that was, I thought was right on the street. That had the staircase, the front steps. that-
Yeah, no, now that you
It
mention
sounds a
it,
little familiar.
And I think
The
they
big
were
one on there is
an
3.
addition on the back. But I just, because they were, there was something with but it was the first one. So that's why I was just curious if that was if they ever did the work on that. That's curious.
I believe so. But what Jeff, I think appropriately thought, were there conditions in the grant of a special permit? If there were, I mean, that could obviously alter going forward plans, and he just hadn't heard of the special permit.
Okay.
So I think it's reasonable to,
I remember because I think Woody, you called it an island because it was sort of all by itself.
yeah. Well, if you go up Jerusalem Lane, this is not really apropos, but I mean, these houses are really shoehorned in there. I mean, it's incredible little mini development, but be that as it may, I mean, I would like to see a buttoned up presentation as opposed to somebody still searching for, information. So I would, I think we should move forward, and we have voted in this one, so.
Okay.
Okay, we have one deliberation, which I will go mute on again, which is the draft that Dave McMorris is taking care of in terms of 28 Mohawk Way and Lee Darst's draft. So I will.
Okay, let's open our deliberations on 28 Mohawk Way. Lee, you drafted the decision. Can you run through it a little bit for us and tell us what your thinking is?
Sure. I basically my finding was the entire proposed constructions within the setback and will increase the first floor non-conforming area by, well, the figures in the proposal were 274. John just said 280, but by 27.8 increase within the setback, but only 7.7 net increase to the total facade. So it really is. And now that I know that the footprint is 2,700 square feet, almost 2,800 square feet, it really is a very small addition to very small increase. It's just going to continue the nonconformity across. I mean, there already is a nonconformity across the whole entire front of the house, and this is just going to add 274 square feet in that nonconformity. So I recommend that the board approve this. The neighboring structures are really actually quite a distance from this proposed addition, and it really is not. It's a de minimis increase for the size of the house.
I read the decision, thought it was very good, Lee. Thank you very much. Just double check that the figures are for the new enlarged version. I got a little confused who's where.
Well, I did, and I will go back now that I have the figures. I had everything on my conference table, the old ones and new ones, because there was different things on it. But the actual, I guess most people are probably familiar with this property, but I mean, it appears when I went up there, I mean, it's almost like their front lawn is really where Mohawk Way is. So I don't know if other people are familiar with the area.
Yeah, Lee, I was gonna say maybe even it may make some sense, like to even add a sentence or so within the decision, and that like that distance, I think, is to the edge of the right of way, but like that kind of like imaginary road that they talked about is what the front setback footage is measured to, and that might help to tell the story a little bit.
I know, because I put in there that, most of the Mohawk Way is unpaved. I mean, it's not paved where it shows on the map. So, and it appears that they use it as their front yard, even though it's the public way. Okay.
Just, the only other thing that I had was, did they go to the Conservation Commission, and was there any kind of order of conditions or anything? Do we know that?
They were supposed to go, but all of our opinions say, our decisions say that they have to have the board approval.
Right, they've got to be consistent with everything else. Okay. Well, I agree with your analysis on this and your reasoning. So
Okay.
I would move that we, anybody else? I'm sorry.
I had a look at the draft opinion. Look fine to me, Lee. Thank you for putting it together.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'd move that we accept the opinion as amended once the remaining information is available.
I will second your motion, David.
All right, all those in favor, Dave McMorris, aye.
Charlie Higginson, aye.
Michael Dickey, aye.
Matt Watkins, aye.
All right, it's unanimous, and this hearing is over.
And I am back. All right, with all the green lines on my screen. The only other piece of board business, we'll see if there's anything else that Jen has, other than, I can't believe it's a last meeting, but be that as it may, approval of minutes. Jen did send those out to us.
And we had to approve last month's too. You just wanted to give more time for everybody to
Okay.
read them. So it's just the February 8th and March 8th. Nope, this is March 8th, February 8th and January 4th. And I'm sorry to interrupt again. Matt Watkins did give me some edits on the most recent ones.
I was wondering if we held off on edits, if that would prolong your.
Yeah, you have to be back here
They
in
won't let you
April.
leave unless we sign off on January.
That's correct. That's all right. If I'll come back again.
Are you getting paid overtime for this?
Not overtime. I get paid, my hourly rate.
Oh, so
But I do it for free for you guys.
Going here.
Yeah, but I do it for free, you guys. Don't tell them that though.
All right.
I don't know what
Recorded.
Matt's edits were. New is works two ways. It's new with a K rather than just NEW.
Yeah.
And then there's a sentence about the common driveway, which doesn't make much sense. It isn't pertinent really to the decision. Just check that out and make it make sense.
Is that in the minutes, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I had both of those in mind too, Jen. I think
Okay, thank you.
covered in
It
that.
was probably where, I don't know if you've read my tale of woe with my computers, but it was a long weekend with 3 different computers trying to get, now I'm all set. So thank you. I love getting the edits.
Any other comments, or could we approve the minutes of January 4th?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor, Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Charlie Higginson, aye.
Mike Dickey, aye.
Darcy.
Matt
All right,
Watkins, aye.
and then what is the February date? Again, I can't remember.
February 8th.
8th, okay. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes as amended or as edited.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Charlie Higginson, aye.
Lee Darcy.
Matt Watkins, aye.
Michael Dickey, aye.
Okay, and I guess this isn't just related to Jen, but all good things come to an end, and our series of continuances, I have a feeling, are coming to an end, and we're going to have a full full docket. And Jen, what's new coming up? Do we have Atlantica or that property?
Yep, the 46 Border Street. That was the one of the ones that I suggested. That was one I was thinking you might want to have your own standalone meeting for. But we'll put them all on the 5th and you can decide from that night's house what comes forward to you on that night.
Yeah, I would prefer to get rid of what's been before us, unless it's a radically new hearing. But yeah, we could put them on the agenda, and as long as they're aware of the fact that we may not be able to squeeze all that in. That's probably going to be another complicated one because of parking and other issues. I don't know what the other issues are, but I haven't seen a proposal, but I'm guessing they're going to need big time relief.
And I'll get those applications out to you early so you can look at them.
Okay, is there anything else big that we know of as opposed to an addition of a sunroom or something like that?
Which one? No, the one on South Main.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
Jen, the Ocean Ledge Drive one that you mentioned, was that a denial of a building permit or someone appealing the issuance?
Someone's appealing the issuance of a building permit.
Okay.
I don't know what all the facts are. My understanding was that this guy is in a butter and was never notified, but that may not be true. We'll just have to see what
It's just, people don't get notified for issuance of building permits.
Okay.
But of course, he's been upset for the last year and a half or 2 years. So it's not like he's been trying to find information, as I understand it. But let us see. No sense speculating.
Jen, are we probably in a Zoom still on April 5th?
I would imagine so. They've extended the state has until July 5th. It will be the town that can probably determine if they choose to go back and how they want to do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for asking, Charlie. It certainly sounds like April's going to be Zoom. I mean, maybe it's May, June, or whatever that it gets moved up, but that's to be decided, right?
Is there, when we go back to in person, will there be the ability to have Zoom links for people who can't come to town hall but want to participate?
So they have been doing with the Board of Selectmen, our select board, a hybrid situation, but the only place that works is at Wilcott Commons, and it's not very conducive. I recall the two that to take comments, and people can watch, but it would take an additional staff member just to monitor the input from people who want to ask questions and then watch the meeting. So it's very complicated. I think it can be done, but they're going to have to look into staffing, because if you want someone there to run the meeting, take minutes for the meeting, it's kind of like when we used to run the cameras and take notes and be at the meeting. You can do that, but this is a whole nother level because there would be television cameras. Plus, you wouldn't be filmed, but so the select board's filmed. They're on Facebook Live. They're on the hybrid situation. So there's a lot. So this board could do hybrid and possibly, but might still need a second person to take the comments. I mean, I think that's one of the benefits of Zoom is that we've had higher attendance rates than we've ever had to meetings. And I know some people don't like it, but I do like that.
Well, it'd be a shame to go back to the 6 of us and one other person.
I agree.
That's not open discussion or dialogue, or even just open observation. So I think at the least hybrid. I'd love to meet in person, no question. But
no, so I know that it's called. The library has something called the owl, and it's something you put in the middle of the room, and it actually does circle the room, and everybody can attend. I don't know. They're coming up. Trust me, all the people out there are coming up with a way, because pandemic has been hard, but a lot of great things came out of it. You have to look at the different changes about this. I love being at my house doing a meeting. So,
yeah.
but
shoes off.
Yep, you know, dressed up, not dressed up. So yeah, so just, I think that they'll be updating. The select board also likes to meet in person, so I know that's really important to them to get back. So I would just keep in touch with Tracy.
Yeah.
You will know more on the changes of that. And Lauren will
Jen,
know too.
what can you tell us about your replacement, and should we schedule as a group, possibly with Lauren, a meeting with the new person, so we could be it Zoom or whatever, you know, so that we can introduce ourselves and get to know her and whatever.
So I don't think that's my surprise to it. So Lauren, I think it's a great idea for you to reach out to Lauren Woody and set up a meeting with the new person, and you know, post it and have a meeting with her. And Lauren is back on Monday from vacation, so I can send her an email and say that's what you would like to do.
Yeah.
And I will definitely do that.
And certainly we could do one, and if some people can't make that one, we could have a backup meeting as well. I just think it's nice to get to know. Where is this person coming from? What town?
My understanding is from Plymouth, but I don't know a
Okay.
lot about her.
All
But I
right,
know
so we
it's a
all
she.
have stuff to learn. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this will be fun.
No, yeah. No, it's gonna be, and I, you know, Lauren's asked if I'd be a resource, and of course I would be. And I'm only a town away, and I'm in the Cohasset Town Hall every week. So
Yeah, you haven't been able to sort of break the cord.
no, I don't mind, but I am getting a little, I'm getting into the weeds at the new job, so it'll be good to just be able to visit you all. I can pop in on a meeting.
All
I
right.
hope they're paying you. Cohasset, I mean.
They're taking care
Good.
of
You just said you were doing this for nothing.
No, I said I would do it for nothing, but
Oh,
luckily they
okay.
offered.
Now I feel much better now.
There's
much
a
better.
difference, you know.
All right.
I know I'm not making as much with all these cancellations.
Well, you know, you may have to be back here in April.
Okay. For the nice
This
long.
person needs to be mentored through the process. You're not
I
going to
know.
throw her to the wolves.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot.
All right, think about it.
As long as we stay on Zoom or hybrid, you can just drop in and watch us.
That's all right. I might even change my name. You won't even know it's me.
No, but you could raise your hand and ask nasty questions.
Can you imagine?
But what about that decision in 2017?
I know. I don't think that was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna miss you all, but hopefully we can all
Oh.
get together. You know
We're
that.
going to miss you, obviously.
Very much.
And maybe when the whole business of masking kind of really goes away for many reasons, maybe we can get together at the Red Lion or something for a drink some evening, or, you know, late
I would love that. Let's make it a promise.
Something,
Let's do it. Something, and maybe some snacks.
Some
Snacks
what?
too. Snacks and Red Lion drinks. And it's a long walk for you though, Woody.
I know it is, but I'm willing to sacrifice.
Okay, well, I appreciate
You're
that.
worth every step.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to
Away.
it. I'm holding you to it.
All right, so I would make a motion then to adjourn the hearing tonight.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Woody Chidick, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye.
Higgins and I.
Darcy,
Michael Dickey, aye.
Matt Watkins, aye.
All right.
All right.